This week's conspiracy theory isn't much more, it's not as much as a conspiracy theory as it is maybe just like a thought provoking conversation. It's not necessarily a conspiracy in a sense of a conspiracy, but it is one of them things that make you go, hmm. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So the conspiracy theory this week is ancient civilizations, right? The people who existed in the time frame that we call BC. Because right now, technically, for people who don't know, we living in AD, which means we at one point we started from zero, and now we're counting up. As from BC, they started at whatever number and counted down. For people who don't know that, but so a lot of ancient civilizations, especially one that a lot of people there's two really that are most like well three really that are most famous, which are the Sumerians, the ancient Egyptians, and then the Mayans. Today, I think we gonna ask a couple questions about the Mayans. Um, the only thing they left us was a couple of pyramid-like temples, right? Sumerians left us tablets. They left us a lot of literature. They left us a lot of things. Egypt left us the pyramids. They left us. We find sarcophaguses with bodies in them. We have a good idea, somewhat. I won't even say a good idea. That's a lie. We have a very minimal idea of some of the history because we don't know what a lot of that sand is hiding over there, but that's another conversation. But the Mayans have left us nothing. It's like they were here and they disappeared. But for those of you who are not familiar with the Mayans, if you've ever seen the movie Apocalypto, that movie was about the Mayans. And if you know the world ends at 2012, the Mayans are also the ones who supposedly created this calendaric, if that's a word, this calendar system that supposedly they made all these thousands of years ago that calculated that a certain date in December of 2012, in the year of 2012, something was super major was going to happen in the world, which it didn't, at least not that we know of. We could be living in a civilization, a stimulation or a black hole right now, but we don't know that right now. But however, the problem with the Mayans are we have found no trace of them outside of the pyramids. And also, let's keep in mind too that the Mayan civilization, it was not necessarily just a group of people. It was a bunch of powerful cities that operated as like a country more so than a condensed uh, city, or I guess I could say. So we have no bones, we have no burial sites, we have nothing left of these people. And I think the thought just kind of makes a person wonder, well, where did they go? What the hell happened to these people? How are they here and they gone? You can find me a dinosaur bone from 65 million years ago and can't find me a bone from an Aztec that lived 4,000 years ago. Certain things just don't make sense. And I know no matter how they chose to disperse of themselves, because there were so many of them and they existed in so many different areas, there should be at least something left of them. And as far as we know, as far as that they tell us, up to date, as of now, there is not a single trace that these people actually ever existed outside of these sketches and these etches. Even with the Sumerians, you find burial sites, you find bones of people. And I know y'all hear that and like, well, why is that so significant? Because it proves that those people were there. It proves that they were here. Bones fossilized. And to not be able to find a bone on something or someone that you knew existed, they left proof that they were here, but we don't have anything of them physically. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a very interesting topic, man. I think the world would like to know. Just ancient civilizations in general, man. Like with the Sumerians and some of their tablets and how they say it was different gods that ruled each major city and all these descriptive things. And I think a lot of times people need to take into consideration, as hard as it is to believe, there has to be some truth to some of the things, right? Because these people, their way of telling us, outside of writing in what Sumerians, I believe their tablets are written in what they call cuneiform. So um we can't assume that we know how to translate these things. People claim that they can. Oh, I can take a symbol and translate it to this letter. But here's the thing: the alphabet as we know it didn't exist back then. So certain words that you're trying to tell me that these people said, I find that really hard to believe. You want to know why? Because they wouldn't have had the letters to put said words together, right? They just didn't exist. So what they did, they left things in art form, right? And I think we have to start leaning more on if we really want to learn the truth, because the government ain't gonna tell us. They probably know. They probably have figured some of this stuff out. They're not gonna tell us. And we talk about this a lot on conspiracy theory. Stop trusting them government people. You heard? They not gonna tell you the truth, but them people don't care about you, boy. Stop doing that. Look at the proof. Look at what they show you. You want to know why they show you? Because they know you're not gonna do anything. They know you're not gonna do the research. What they used to tell us: the best way to hide something from a black man is to put it in the book, because they thought we wasn't gonna read it. Right? They put it right in your face, and what you gonna do? Dismiss it. Oh, they showing a picture of a human like being with wings on his back. That ain't got nothing to do with no angel. The wings was to signify that these people came from the sky. The only thing they could look up and saw that was, if you can fly, you must be like a bird. That ain't got nothing to do with no angel, man. That was a metaphor to show you how these people travel, how they carried themselves, how they move, and so on and so forth. And I think we need to stop assuming that what we know is the truth. What we don't know is the truth. What we know is the lies that they feed us to control us and to manipulate us. That's what we know. And there's a reason why that's what we know. Why can't nobody tell me how Stonehenge was built? Why can't now, with all this modern day technology we have, why can't the best architect in the world build a pyramid? Why can't they do it? These people supposedly was dumb cavemen. Think about how beautiful Egypt is. Even now, as it sits in partial ruin, the precision, the paints, the colors, them don't seem like people who didn't know nothing to me. Very funny how the coordinates for I think it's Giza are is like the coordinates is also, if you line it up, it's also the speed for, it's also how fast the speed of light travels. Just certain things aren't a coincidence. It's also very funny that the highest point of those pyramids also lines up with the highest point in Mars, which is Mount Olympus, which is the biggest volcano in our solar system. A lot of these things aren't coincidences. First of all, how the hell do y'all even know that? Ain't no human ever been to Mars, but y'all know that that's the high point, and somehow y'all managed to just figure out that that high point makes a direct connection with the tip of the pyramid, the highest pyramid. Them people knew something, man. See, what we see is just a bunch of sand bricks and what the Mayans left and all that. Even with the Mayans, there's a sound barrier in the top of their pyramid when you climb up there. There's something that happens. I can't explain it quite 100% because I forgot exactly what it is. But there's a pitch and sound and how it works, right? These are things that you just don't don't discover these things by accident, right? And so we don't know what the pyramids look like when they were first made, but what they say is it was gold plated at the top and it had marble walls. Of course, everything's been dumbed down now. Why do you think a lot of things were defaced? The Sphinx didn't have a nose because it shows how much the nose looked like a black person nose or African's nose. They went and they destroyed so much things. Why would you run through a library and set it on fire? What is it that you didn't want me to know? What is it that you didn't want the world to learn about? Because back then books were extremely valuable. Books were worth as much as gold to some people because it contained the knowledge. So with that being said, I'm gonna just use that to say this is why we have the knowledge is change. We encourage y'all to, yeah, we're gonna talk some funny topics, yeah, we're gonna hit some serious topics, and then we're gonna do stuff like this, thought provoking. Some of y'all may not care. Some of y'all may just find it interesting and want to have something to research before you go to bed at night. I encourage, no matter what it is, look into it. If not a lot, just a little bit. Because you never know what you can find, man. And if you find something very interesting, come drop a like, a share, put it in the comments, man, and we can touch on it. We can talk about it. And that's this week's conspiracy theory / thought provoking idea.